point is the pictures speak 1,000 words. There is a certain, despite 44 decades in politics, one of the most powerful people in the country, the most powerful person in the country, there is a difference in the way the approach is made, and there is a system. There are other netas who are grassroots netas. There is a certain aura of elitism around them. That does not seem to come through. That's what the pictures say. Even in their attitude, how they are, have they changed the way they are? That's a simple question. Mr. and Mrs. Shah, after casting their ballot, let's go with the pictures. There you go. That's right index finger, left index finger where the ink has happened, and both of them casting their vote. Now they will step out, and then we'll have Amit Shah speaking, Narhari Amin present there, Bhupendra Yadav present there as the media team makes their way out. The aspect of going out and casting your ballot, every neta has done it. Every neta has gone to their constituency and voted. But do the pictures give you a different kind of sense or energy? We'll leave it to the viewer to decide. But more importantly, I think the message from everyone is that we need your vote. We need you to vote. And in this process of democracy, the celebration is when the voter turnout is high. When it is more than 70%, that's when the story writes in itself. The first two phases, the average is about 66%. Bharat, can we do better? Of course we can. Can we try and beat the heat, duck that, and despite the heat, go out and cast the ballot? That's the big aspect. Let's not allow lethargy, complacency kick in. No party wants that. Everybody wants voters to come out and vote. Irrespective of who they vote for, they need to go out and vote. The family is outside. Rest. Rahul Shivshankar is also with us. The family is stepping out. Jai Shah, Jai Shah's wife, Mrs. Amit Shah, and then we'll also have the Home Minister stepping out. One of the big stories as far as this election is the voter story. Is that going to be a concern, Rahul? Do you really feel that this heat wave may actually impact results in some of the places? Well, Narhari Amin just said that all of Gujarat seats we should have an average margin of 5 lakhs. Here 85% votes in favor of Amit Shah, but they were also concerned कि voter निकल के vote करेगा कि नहीं.
Well, look at it in perspective. I mean, the data, if you really examine it, doesn't give you any clear indication. Low turnouts doesn't really mean loss for an incumbent and vice versa. So that's one aspect of it. Don't also forget that in 2019 there was a lower turnout than in 2014, and that resulted in even a greater margin for the Bharatiya Janata Party as far as seats were concerned.
I think overall the voter turnout was higher. There were certain pockets it was lower.
Certain phases maybe that the voter turnout was
But I tell you what, Rahul, I was in Bangalore 2 weeks back. I was in Hyderabad yesterday. It is brutally hot. I don't know why. I mean, people in Hyderabad yesterday were saying, and we're in the first week of May, it's not a city that gets this hot.
Some of the phases were held also on a Friday, and then you had, of course, now you have a Tuesday. So I don't know if someone is really inclined to take a long weekend off, they will in a urban metro. I don't think that's true really of rural India and perhaps the more rural constituencies, because I suppose people don't get that kind of time off, etc., etc.
But
and they're wedded to the land.
Are folks in the BJP privately concerned about voter turnout, that people are not?
Certainly they are concerned, and I had in fact written a piece on this on April 11th itself, that the greatest challenge for the BJP in these elections has been the low voter turnout. Now it's a challenge in two ways. One is the maximalist position from which the BJP fights every election. Yeah. So they want big margins. They've put a 50% vote share sort of
10 lakh margin
deadline for themselves, and yardstick for themselves. The second is that if you see voter apathy and complacency, then your opposition, which looked very demoralized at the beginning of the voting, their voters might suddenly realize that, okay, even the ruling party people are not coming out, and we who have been sitting at home thinking there's no challenge here, maybe we should kind of make a showing here, So obviously there is a feeling there, and BJP traditionally, as a cadre-based party, their people turn out to vote. If they don't want to vote, they will never transfer their vote to somebody else.
That's also the reason why the BJP gains when there are low voter turnouts, and this has been statistically.
Let me just finish this point. But they win big only when their cadre turns out, and they get people along with them in a kind of a collective effort.
No, hang on. There is some statistical evidence, and look, BJP supporters may not like me invoking these two names, but Dr. Pranoy Roy and Durab Sopariwala have conducted a very important piece of research which they published as part of a book. And that was at 2004, 2009 and 2014 elections. And they looked at turnout effect on BJP seats. And they didn't look at urban constituencies because there you, in any case, expect the BJP to have an advantage and therefore more enthused cadres. So they looked at 60% turnout seats in urban and rural constituencies. And they found that in all these areas, the BJP gains when the turnout is low. So that is fundamentally down to the fact that the Panna Pramukh and others are extremely well organized on the ground, and therefore the BJP tries to at least slogan here,
their voters come
Mera booth sabse mazboot. That's the real.
But Rahul, you know, the problem is both what Nistula just said and what you are saying are contradictory, and I'll tell you why.
But no, I'll tell you, I haven't finished. Just my 30 seconds, please, to beg your indulgence. It's actually not the fact that the turnout is worrying them. What is worrying the BJP is the election issues at stake here. This election, from all the anecdotal evidence that is coming through, has become a local issues kind of election, which is where the BJP is a little nervous, and therefore you see the Prime Minister trying to add the larger context, the larger narrative, the, you know, sort of. So I think that's really what is worrying.
Smita Prakash is